Hello, my lovely design friends. I'm Helene Oberman, Managing Director of Interior Design Magazine, and I am in Chicago at NeoCon, and today I am at Lacasse, who has a beautiful new redesigned showroom. Of course, all the product introductions one expects at NeoCon, but also a new approach to how and why they design, and even a new name. With me today is Hierlihy, Vice President of Sales and Marketing, to share the vision for the future of Lacasse. The interesting thing is, you're fairly new to the brand, and you were tasked with an incredibly large mission. The perception of Lacasse was entirely different and did not align with just how sophisticated the brand was behind the scenes. How have you worked over, the last year to bring the legacy brand of Lacasse into today and a look ahead to the future?
Oh yes, that was only 8 months ago. That was quite a task. Yes, I spoke to a lot of folks. But what was missing was this notion of who are you? Who are you going forward? What do you stand for today? Where are you going? What does the brand mean? I narrowed it down into what I call 3 pillars. What is the brand story? Secondly was, what should we be looking at in terms of the needs of the future? And then the third period was our partners in the industry, our distribution team. How do we work with them? What do they need?
You have now sort of changed the name a little bit when you dropped the now synonymous group from Lacasse.
When I was doing all those interviews, I would say 80% of the people I spoke with would say Lacasse. They were just saying it naturally. It was a fairly quick decision to say, what if we simplify everything, soft seating, case goods, it's all Lacasse.
Tell me a little bit more about the partnership with ACDF and really how do they design this showroom to feel like the true workplace?
Well, one of the keys was neighborhoods. And talking to other design firms, that notion of that rather than having large open plan areas that we've seen, just big floor plans, was to actually start to look at neighborhoods. To our left here, you can see that they've leveraged curtains to separate smaller neighborhoods. The notion here is if you were in an office, you'd be walking along this natural path, and then there'd be your open plan areas. But then when you want to take a break, they're all here in this more collaborative zone, which tends to be more near lit area, because the other huge movement that we're already seeing is a return to private offices or private spaces. Not everyone can have a private office that's designated to them. So we've come up with this studio collection that can provide a personal space. The acoustics, we're working with 3D fabrics. Every time you can enhance acoustics, you go for it.
Lacasse has obviously a great legacy of making case goods, right? As we stand here in this beautiful private office, let's talk about the new sort of case good for Lacasse, which is Next Nova.
Absolutely, my pleasure. The 2 key elements that are innovative for us are the curved knife edge. The ABS and the laser allows us to have no edge detailing on laminates. Now that means that we can also start to leverage it in terms of how do we take a knife edge that's finished underneath? Because there's a lot of knife edges in laminate that are not finished underneath. But with our robotic technology, we've now been able to come up with an innovative solution to have a curved knife edge, which is normally only within the veneer category, and that's very high price points. We're now very proud to be able to launch this innovative, industry-first curved knife edge in laminate. And to match that up, you'll notice that we're actually bending laminate to have a curved base. That's also a nice reference to the curves up top and then the curved laminate shells. Trying to bring those soft, and that's back to what we talked about in terms of comfort and softness. People not bumping into corners, even the visual look of it. It's not residential. Again, it's corporate, but it's softer and more comfortable.
Let's talk Bloomrise. There's this great interplay, right, between you flexing your Canadian engineering alongside that Italian aesthetic that was infused by designer Francesco Favoretto.
He conceived this product in this notion of soft architectural elements. We experimented with different types of wire supports, webbing and so forth in the seat to really get the comfort perfected. The innovation story for this product is quite something. The seat is completely independent of the back and the arms. So you put your hand from the side, around the back, there are no connection points. For the corporate environment, it is wonderful to have something that's an easy clean out. Healthcare, absolutely necessary. So trying to have the emotional resonance of something comfortable and approachable, but when you're sitting on it, you're thinking, this is corporate furniture.
I'm in work mode.
I'm in work mode. I'm comfortable, but I'm in work mode. Absolutely.
You were saying earlier too about how each of the new product introductions has its own sustainability story. What is it for Bloomrise?
Bloomrise, everything here was made in North America. And depending on the fabrics you choose, there's different stories in terms of the recyclability and so forth. And the aluminum frames are made from 100% recyclable. There's elements in here that really touch on some wonderful sustainability stories.
Tell me about the new Toco.
Toco is almost a reflection back to a time when people wanted to feel very comfortable with their chair. They wanted to have an emotional attachment to their chair. What we've done is we have created an upholstered chair. The features of this chair, we have 5 bases and 5 different arms. And part of it was when we designed it, we wanted to have futurities. Easy to change arms, easy to change the bases, easy to change the shelves. The other aspect is we wanted to make sure that we could hit a market price point that is accessible. The story of Toco is that Toco is touch in Italian, by the way, is that when we bring people in, to see their reaction when they touch the chair and feel that we've hit that notion of emotional resonance.
I mean, we've seen some really great products, obviously learned a lot about the brand. What do you find are the next steps in this evolution of Lacasse moving forward?
One of them is a 4th pillar. I mentioned the 3 pillars at the beginning. So the 4th pillar we announced at NeoCon, which is that we need to make sure that we're listening to ensure our designs are focused on people, because they're designing for people. That is the 4th pillar that we're going to gather that information. It's going to have a massive influence on where we go with the products in the future.
Well, I can't wait. And Gary, thank you so much for all of your time and
My
your
pleasure.
insight.
Thank you.
I'm very excited for these next steps for Lacasse. And of course, for our lovely audience, please make sure to check out the Chicago showroom with Montreal and New York soon to come.